Isaac, but there is the message from the fans. We are a city, a whole population. Nothing is achieved alone. Can they beat the champions?
Or rather who Eddie Howe and Newcastle were missing in their opening game against the 10 men of Aston Villa. But Nick Pope is one of the 9 starters tonight who beat Liverpool at Wembley in March when Dan Burns set them on course for a victory for the generations of Newcastle fans. It's an unchanged 11 from the team that drew in Birmingham, with the midfield trio a solid part of this Newcastle team. Anthony Elanga could and perhaps should have opened his Newcastle account, while Anthony Gordon, the former Everton player, again takes a central role. Joe Willock is back in the squad after injury, and Jacob Ramsey could make his debut after joining from Newcastle's last opponents. It wasn't all plain sailing for Arne Slot as Liverpool began their title defence with a win. The 2 goals that Alisson conceded to Bournemouth's Antoine Semenyo made it a nervous night at Anfield. Ibrahima Konate looked sluggish and Jeremy Frimpong got injured, leaving Dominic Szoboszlai to plug the gap. Ryan Gravenberg's return from suspension coincides with Alexis McAllister's absence, so Curtis Jones starts. Mo Salah will hope for more joy against Tino Livramento than he had at Wembley, while Hugo Ekitike, 2 goals in 2 games, lines up against the team that has for 3 years had an interest in signing him. There are 2 partially fit right-backs on the bench in Joe Gomez and Conor Bradley, plus their new 18-year-old defender, Giovanni Leone.
Yes, you know it's possible. You know, especially when they play at St James's Park, that they can beat anyone and they can play well against any names or whatever it is. But not having Isaac, obviously, it's not the same. But I do believe, I was saying to Jamie before, I can see them upsetting Liverpool. They didn't beat them for a long time in the league. I don't know why. Tonight I see them upsetting
2015.
Liverpool.
It is always. Get into them. There's the message from the fans. It is always a hothouse atmosphere at St James's Park. And this is the first home game of the season. And this is Liverpool, the champions. Our match commentators tonight on our Monday Night Football. Chris Sutton is alongside Rob Hawthorne. Good evening to you, Rob.
Good.
Shots for Newcastle United at Villa Park without scoring. Tell us, though, Jamie, about the threat of Elanga and Gordon particularly.
I mean, flying machines. I mentioned this to Eddie Howe in the questions before the game. This must be something they've worked on, surely. This was the greatest chance they had in the game against Villa in terms of causing the opposition problems, and it was that counter-attack. Gordon makes the run initially. Elanga now. I mean, look at the stats there at the bottom of the picture. That tells you everything you need to know about how this game could be won or lost from either side. And then you think about Gordon getting Konza sent off, you know, run through. We mentioned Liverpool in terms of rest defence. Aston Villa have got the first line, OK, they've got a 3. They've got absolutely nobody, Aston Villa, in this area that, to be said, was so vital and cost Liverpool against Bournemouth. it costs Aston Villa. They're a man down. The centre-back Konza doesn't play against Brentford, and Anthony Gordon gets through because the second line of the rest defence was not right for Aston Villa, and it's imperative that Liverpool's is tonight because you've seen the pace of those two.
Even if Liverpool are away.
Happy non-Isak Day. A lineup like this, Dominic Szoboszlai posing like this, ain't gonna give you the 3 points today. You laughed at Manchester United for drawing to Fulham, and today we laugh at you. Yes, you think a lineup with Alisson, Van Dijk, Konate, Kirkes, Wirtz, Szoboszlai, Salah, Curtis Jones, Cody Gakpo, Hugo Ekitike and Gravenberch is gonna get you 3 points against Newcastle? Eddie Howe, he's here to send a statement today. Eddie Howe, he won the Carabao Cup in Wembley against you already. Bear in mind, they've done that with Isak. Today, they're without Isak, and they're going to still show you how they are a big club with or without Isak. They ain't giving you Isak, Liverpool. Today is Happy Non-Isak Day, and today we will be there when you lose to Newcastle, as Eddie Howe will send that statement final win to end all of this nonsense. I cannot wait. We will be there. Happy Non-Isak Day, indeed. Things we love to see, things we love to say, and we are back.
Is the Alexander Isak derby. Let me know in the comments who will win this game, Liverpool or Newcastle. Newcastle have said Isak is not allowed to leave. Liverpool have been asking for him. I've been waiting to acquire him. Let me know who's going to win in the comments. Liverpool, tonight you are not going to win. Newcastle, if you ever needed that motivation to win a football match, look what they're trying to do to your main striker. Today is Newcastle versus Liverpool, the Isak derby. Let me know your thoughts in the comments who will win this game. I'm going to go for a score prediction of 2-1 to Newcastle. They will win me this football match. The Isak derby, they tried to rob Isak from you. They took Ekitike from you. Now is your time to go get 3 points off of them. That's all that matters. You guys are selling Isak as a rat t-shirt outside the stadium. I'm with it. But as long as you get me 3 points, join up the watch along. This is a big day today.
Fairly obvious what, or rather who, Eddie Howe and Newcastle were missing in their opening game against the 10 men of Aston Villa. But Nick Pope is one of the 9 starters tonight who beat Liverpool at Wembley in March, when Dan Burn set them on course for a victory for the generations of Newcastle fans. It's an unchanged 11 from the team that drew in Birmingham, with the midfield trio a solid part of this Newcastle team. Anthony Elanga could and perhaps should have opened his new